Thank you.
Perfect. We are ready to go, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. We are going to call this meeting of the TRPA Legal Committee to order. It is Wednesday, March 22nd, and it is 10:09. The first item on the agenda is the roll call to determine quorum. Catherine, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Fastinos,
Present.
Mr. Rice,
Here.
Ms. Gustafson,
Here.
Ms. Aldine,
Here.
Mr. Hicks.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Williamson.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. This is, I'm going to consolidate our housekeeping rules this morning and find members to raise your hand if you're in Zoom by clicking the raise hand button. Members of the public also, you can click the raised hand button at the bottom of your screen at the appropriate agenda item. With your hand raised, you will be unmuted by TRPA staff and have 3 minutes to address the committee. If you've used the dial-in numbers to join us by telephone, you can dial *9 to raise your hand and be unmuted. Next, let's move on to the approval of the agenda. John, are there any changes to the agenda?
We don't need the closed session, so items 4 and 5 can be taken off the agenda.
Okay. Thank you. All right, anything else?
No.
Thank you. With that, we will deem the agenda approved as amended for the record. Let's move on to agenda item 2, which is approval of minutes. We have a set of minutes from February 22nd on page 13 of your packets. Does any member of the committee wish to make a change to those minutes?
Madam Chair, I have one small clerical change that I've shared with Maria.
Thank you very much. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended. All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. I
So
need a
moved.
motion. Thank
So
you.
moved.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone object? Motion passes. Let's move on to agenda item 3, which is the recommendation regarding resolution of TRPA v. Parker, U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of California, number 221, CV 02243, TLN-CKD. Unauthorized mooring of a watercraft of Lake Tahoe, Reagan Beach, City of South Lake Tahoe, California. APN is 026050006. Information on this item can be found on page 139 of your packets. John, can you please present this item?
Yes, just very quickly, we'll give you first a vicinity map. This is Reagan Beach off of South Shore within the city. And this is the location of, there was a number, if you all recall, a number of enforcement cases that have risen out of illegal mooring of boats in this area. We had the Woolridge case that we settled, that we've talked about in the past. And then the Reza Kian case that is ongoing, that we had a hearing in yesterday that struck his answer and affirmed our entry of default. And this is the third one, the Parker case and we had to file litigation. So this is now after negotiating with Parker's representative, we've come up with a stipulated judgment that essentially the minor term, next slide will show is the vessel that we're talking about from distance. So you'll notice that it's not anchored to a buoy. It's anchored to the bottom. And then this next slide just shows that there's the CF number. This is what's his boat. Next slide, please. And then here's the terms that are in the stipulated judgment, a $5,000 penalty to pay 2 installments, $2,000 upfront and $3,000 within that fourth. And then the failure to pay increases the penalty to $20,000 and
Much. We are having some IT glitches in this room, but IT was great. They just came in. The Wi-Fi isn't working, but I think we got a hardwire. So huge apologies, but we will start again. We did not discuss any further on the slides from when we lost you all on the feed. So you want to go ahead, John?
So as I was saying, we had 3 elements of the stipulated judgment, the penalty amount of $5,000 essentially for a violation. You'll remember that we had a settlement with the Woolridge case was for I think $20,000, and this is substantially less because this was for personal purposes, not for commercial gain. He was not renting this out according to our information. And so, other than that, we've talked about the terms, the court to retain jurisdiction and failure to pay increases to 20,000. And they've signed the stipulated judgment. So once the governing board approves, if you all make a recommendation to do so through the consent calendar, then we would execute the stipulated judgment and submit it.
Thank you. And I do want to ask if Jacob Parker is present, him or his representative are present. I'd like to ask if they're here and if they want to make a statement at this time. See any action there, Catherine?
I don't see any indication that they are on the webinar.
Okay, and then I'll do a quick call for any comments from the committee before I go to public comment. Questions or comments? Okay, public comment on this item. If any member of the public wishes to address the governing board on this agenda item, please raise your hand now by clicking the raise hand button on Zoom or by dialing *9 on your phone. You'll be unmuted by TRPA staff member.
Madam Chair, there are no hands raised to comment on this item.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion. So moved. Okay. We have a motion. Any discussion? I think this one needs a roll call.
Yes.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hicks,
Yeah, I have a question. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with the audio on this, but my question to John is, how much in legal fees have we incurred so far on this matter before we settle up for 5,000?
We have not incurred any actual fees. Obviously, we've incurred time spent by staff. We have not calculated that time. Generally, in our enforcement cases, we're not able to recover attorney's fees unless we enter into a stipulation like this one or a settlement agreement that allows recovery for enforcement after settlement.
Thank you. And with that explanation, I vote in favor.
Thank you.
Ms. Palstinos,
Yes.
Mr. Rice,
Yes.
Ms. Gustafson,
Yes.
Ms. Aldine,
Yes,
Ms. Williamson.
Yes.
Madam Chair, the motion passes.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on then, since we took agenda items 4 and 5 off the agenda. We are on to agenda item 6, which is committee member comments. Does anyone on this committee have any comments at this time? Okay, let's move on to agenda item 7, which is public interest comments. If you are a member of the public and you wish to speak at this time, please raise your hand by clicking the raised hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen or by dialing *9 on your phone. Catherine, please let me know if anybody has a hand up.
Madam Chair, there are no hands raised to make a comment.
Thank you. So we will close public comment. And I think we now need a roll call vote to adjourn.
I think as we did in ops, we can do that by voice.
Wonderful. Okay.
I
Is
move to
there,
adjourn.
thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We're adjourned.